Welcome to Between the Lines. We've got a live show tonight for 1 hour. We're going to sit down, like we've done a lot of times we do. We're going to talk about the city of Clinton, what's going on. And we've got David Queener, who's a school board member there, has spent a lifetime volunteering and being involved in Clinton. I've known David 30 years. I tried to avoid him when he was a police officer, but didn't want to get caught speeding or anything. But David's done a great job, and we all know Steve too, and just great family. And we're going to talk a little bit about Clinton tonight and see what's going on. Welcome, David.
Thanks very much, man. You know what? Yeah. It's an honor to be here because I can say now I've sat down here beside you.
Oh, gosh.
And listen to this. And 3 or 4 weeks ago, Coach Gaddis came on the Friday night show and sat at the same table I did.
Are you still doing the sports show?
Oh, yeah, I still do I do the Friday night show. Been back doing it for a while with Jonathan Cox. So I still do the Friday night call-in show and do that when I'm able to get here.
You're talking about like the one that comes on after the game?
After the game. I do the
scoreboard or whatever it's called?
Friday night scoreboard.
I polled that about 5 years, most watched show in Anderson County at that time. I mean, everybody watched it.
Because of me.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Anyway, because of me.
So tell us about your family growing up. What you've been in Clinton forever. So.
I've been in Clinton basically just about all my life. My family moved to Clinton when I was 9 years old. So basically, I'm turning 65 here.
Where'd they move from?
We moved from Campbell County, from La Follette. That's where I was born. Then we moved to Clinton. So I've lived here ever since I was 9 years old. I've raised my family here. I live one house up from where I was raised. My mother still lives in the house that I was raised in, so I'm on that same street right there on Timothy, and have lived there for quite a while. So went through Clinton Elementary School. Back in the day, it was a junior high. Went through Clinton Junior High.
It was,
I'm a graduate of Clinton High School in 1976. I graduated in 1976. Went to work in 1977 for the Clinton Police Department. Stayed there till 2019.
That's a long time.
Retired from there. 42 years, wow. About 42 years. Wow. Went up the ranks, went all the way up the ranks, and worked there. Started this criminal investigation division, and that's what I went in and ran that. And towards the last, I did some special projects for Chief Scarborough and doing ordering equipment.
He did a good job.
Rick did a fabulous job. I love working for Rick. Funny story about Rick. I used to coach Rick in football.
Sure.
Pee-wees.
Okay.
Had him in Pee-wees over in Claxton. Helped over there with that. I've coached at the middle school. Won a middle school championship over there, helping Jerry Huckabee coach over there. I've coached baseball. I've coached basketball. I've done about everything you can do to volunteer to do things. And today, I am on the Clinton City School Board. I've been there. Let me back up just a minute. You said about my family. I'm going to get killed here.
That's okay. No, go ahead.
My wife, I've been married for 42 years, too, to my wife, Paulette. And, I've got a son, and my son, Joshua. Josh works at the Clinton Fire Department. Melissa works over for Johnny Alley. She's over in the courthouse.
She probably do a lot of work over there. Johnny don't do a lot. She probably hadn't.
I don't know what she.
You want to leave that alone? But
I'll leave that alone if you don't care.
Johnny's my friend.
He's a good guy.
He's all right.
She works over there. I've got 2 grandchildren. I've got one that's 25 and one that's 10. And the 10-year-old thinks she's 25. Yeah, Adeline, my granddaughter, is really a good athlete. She's qualified 3 consecutive years for the Junior Olympics in track.
Wow.
And she's ran all over the country in the Junior Olympics, so I'm really proud of her.
Yeah.
Man, it's hard to watch track. I don't know if you've ever tried.
I ran in high school and junior high school. I ran the 880, but it was just so...
It's an all-day event.
Oh, it's true.
It's an all-day event, and they're always behind. They always are behind. They're always behind.
You're right. I never thought of it.
And they run in the hottest part of summer.
Yeah.
They run in July and August. We
used to start football in September. This August 12th stuff's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I get it, but I mean, still, it just doesn't seem right. Yeah.
So better get back and get that.
Okay.
But like I said, I worked at the police department. I'm on the school board currently. I've got appointed for 2 years. I've been elected twice. I'm finishing up, which at the end will be a 10-year term because of 2 years being appointed. At the end of that 10 years, I'm going to do what a lot of politicians say they're going to do, but they never do it. I'm going to term limit myself off the school board and let another, whether it's another grandfather, grandmother, or a dad, or a mom, or somebody that wants to step up and do the service and get the big check every month like I've got for the last day. Yeah, it ain't nothing. It's zero. It's absolutely nothing.
It's the same way.
It's absolutely nothing. And listen, people think about getting on the school board. They think that you can do a lot of things. and you really can't.
No.
You've only got one employee, and that's your school superintendent. And we have a great school superintendent.
She was on here
Kelly
last-
Johnson,
last winter.
Clinton girl.
Go, yeah.
Probably the best thing that's ever
Great
happened.
personality.
Yeah, great. She's done a great job with our school. Got us in the top 10% in the state. We've been in the top 5 for a lot of 6th grade. ELA and math were either 3 or 5 in the state.
And we talked about that. We've had specialists on, and 3rd grade's reading, and then the math stuff's in 7th or 8th grade. Really, you find her 6th grade or something. So, but are you keeping up on the reading? Didn't COVID hurt everybody?
COVID hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
It really did.
Clinton is such a contained environment. You can manage a lot of
We went back to school when a lot of people didn't go back to school.
Right.
Kelly said, we're going to go back.
She told me that on the show.
We
yeah.
went back when a lot of people didn't go back.
Yeah.
We went back also when a lot of people wanted to wear masks, and we made it optional.
She told me that on the show.
We
It was
did.
right in the middle of it.
We
yeah.
did that. Caught very little grief from it.
And very little COVID.
And had very little COVID from it also.
Good.
So we made up for that.
You're to be admired.
You
for that.
have to give a lot of the credit. I don't get any of that credit as being on the school board. I give the credit to the school teachers.
Sure.
Okay?
Makes sense.
The school teachers. The teachers are the one that she puts the pressure on, and we put the pressure on her maybe per se, but the teachers, we've got some great teachers. There's not any school system that doesn't have some great teachers. Okay? I will assure you, to be a school teacher, you have to want to do that because it is a very tough.
Especially in the elementary area.
It's a very tough. It's a very tough job, Alan. It's really. I don't know that I can do that. I don't know that I've got the patience to do that. So it's really tough.
And the younger, the harder.
And the younger, the harder. Yes, sir. You're correct. Yeah. So we go through all of COVID, and you see some of the test scores. You see some of the kids that were just coming in, kindergarten and coming up. You see them when it comes to COVID, where their test scores get affected a little bit. And you have to. Now, the biggest thing going on right now in the school system, and I think you might have talked about it here a couple of weeks ago with somebody who was talking about you just mentioned again 3rd grade. Mm-hmm. Big thing right now is they're wanting to retain kids in 3rd grade if they have a bad score first time they're tested out. One bad score will get you retained in the 3rd grade. Or you can do summer school, tutoring, and you got to do all this stuff all summer. Mm-hmm. Or if you don't do any of that, you just get retained. This is the part that really don't make no sense to me as a school board member is we retain you and you go back through the 3rd grade and you're in the same shape you were the year before. Guess what we do with you then? Mm-hmm. We send you on to 4th grade. Mm-hmm. There's no study out here, what I've been told, there's no study out here that shows retaining a kid in any grade benefits them. It only benefits them for one thing, to play sports and get a little older.
That's me and you thinking there. Yeah, you hold my boy back. I said, it's okay with me. Yeah.
It's all,
Yeah. That's why they try to keep those age limits on high school kids.
That's the only thing. Before I came here tonight, I was listening to Knox County. They got 60% of their 3rd graders fall in this category. We fought this on the state level. Kelly Johnson fought this. We fought this. A kid's going to take his first test and he's going to miss something. I listened to the news people talk tonight, which was how to break the word down. I don't remember what the word was, but both of them failed at how it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
We're talking people. Robin Wilhoit, who I was watching,
yeah.
She said, I got the wrong one. And we got a 3rd grader that's going to take the test for the first time. Mm-hmm. But now we want parents to make these decisions. Mm-hmm. Parents need to make these, okay?
Sure.
No. Our legislature people are making these decisions for the parents, so it's reversed. I don't understand what's going on. I don't agree with it. I really think it ought to come down.
I think the majority of Clinton people would agree with you.
I think it ought to come down to the parent and the school.
Getting together
and working it out. Not only that, everywhere.
Well, children have different problems. I mean, could be a home life, could be dysfunctional. How's he supposed to learn or she learn when they don't even want to go home? You know what I'm saying?
True.
So there's a lot of challenges. So I don't think I'm with you. I don't think a blanket rule makes any sense. Figure out what the issue is and fix it.
So my understanding, if I speak out of turn, I apologize for speaking out. I understand Oak Ridge City Schools was against this, Anderson County Schools was against this, and Clinton City was against this. Mm-hmm. Okay?
I don't know anything about
That's what I was told.
Okay, makes sense.
And our rep here didn't agree with us, and he voted to go ahead and put the 3rd grade thing in effect. Okay, so Call him. Don't call me. A lot of people thought we had something to do with this. No, call our rep. We give the phone numbers out for him to call him because they made that decision in Nashville. That was not made in Clinton, Tennessee, sitting at City Hall behind the desk up there. I guarantee you we didn't make that. They made that vote was taken in Nashville and was done in Nashville.
You know, go back in Clinton High School. It's really interesting. When I was a senior in high school, we played some good basketball, but it was probably, in my opinion, one of the 2 or 3 best Clinton teams ever. You had Russell Fritz and Jimmy Hodge at guard. And you're just 3 years behind. We had Tyrone Fritz on the other wing, who still works here in Richmond. Then we had Jerry Richt, and we had Massey Ellis. And that 5 played against me and Otis and my 5, and there were wars. I mean, absolute wars. But both of us were top 5 in the state, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, and Jimmy was a pretty good quarterback. And, you
Jimmy
know,
Hodge was pretty good quarterback.
He
Good
was
athlete,
good athlete.
too.
Yes,
He's
right.
good
Baseball,
athlete.
everything. And so I guess my point is being that they had some tremendous teams in that era, and I didn't follow football as much. I played 1 year, but that was it. Tell me about your experiences and when you were in Clinton, 76, 75.
Well, when I went there, when I went in there as a sophomore, I went.
Now Pyatt was in your class, wasn't he?
No, Pyatt was a little bit ahead of me. I was in the class.
He was 5. You're right. He's 75.
Yeah, he was 75. The guys that I ran around with at the time when I went in as a sophomore at Clinton High School, they were seniors. Wayne Sievers and Gary Bailey and all those guys. Some really good baseball players. Wayne Sievers probably could be the best baseball player that's ever came out of Clinton High School.
Wow, that's a big.
I will put him number 1. Somebody else might sit in this seat next week with you and say, no, he was number 2. But I'll put Wayne.
E.T., I'm backing you up. I'm backing you
I
up.
bet you E.T. would say the same thing.
Well, he told me he named a bunch of names, but I didn't know a lot.
You know, Wayne, but you want to go back and talk about that class with Massey Ellis and Hodge and them, and I'm sure Kimmy Weaver played too. You know, Kimmy Weaver went.
Kimmy went to Vandy, sure.
He went to Vandy, went on to Dallas Cowboys.
Sure. Played a year.
Okay, played a couple years there, whatever. So, you know that.
But they were athletic. We were too.
I can tell you this from what I know now. We didn't act the way they act today in school. It was a little bit more stricter than the way it was. And I remember
in the district, let me tell you, when we played at Clinton, the gym seemed so much bigger then, right? It's a training film for TWS to play. We got down to a minute to go, and we were down 4. And we shot a free throw, and Otis looked at me and said, miss the second one. I said, okay, I'll do it. It's 56 seconds. We miss it. Somehow, Massey gets tangled up. Otis has his hand, which is about this big, around his throat.
He's a big guy.
Right, around his throat with Ellis. And I turn, everybody spreads. Doug Stewart's jacking Hodge up, just hitting him, and I just turned around and hit Rick, pushed him down on the floor, and it was they escorted us out of the gym, and everybody in the crowd's going, "We're going to cut you! We're going to cut you at Big Ed's Friday night, and bring it on!" You know, we ended up beating them in the district, so we were happy. But they were a great team. I remember I had like 10 for 11 free throws, and Hodge had 11 for 11. You know, he just didn't miss. And
I remember the first time I go out for baseball. Alvin Taylor and Gene Owens were the coaches, and we got in the gym and we started doing all this stuff. I played baseball my whole life. I'd never been put through the experiences like his, so when we started running, and we seemed like we had run for an hour. And I just asked Alvin Taylor, I just held my hand up and asked him, did I come out for the wrong sport? Is this track or is this baseball? And we kept on running. And then if you were a pitcher, then you had to run some more.
And
we had pretty good. I love Alvin Taylor. He's a good guy, and he was a good baseball coach, and he's been a big guy in the city of Clinton with baseball and stuff. Another guy that will go down as being a big guy in Clinton.
He told me a story back in the county days. I was sitting on the back row with him. We were chit-chatting, and Lynch got up there, and Rex was doing something, right? So he's talking to me, and I said, you never played Lynch, did you, when he was the third baseman? He said, nah, he just sub. He just didn't. Decent glove, but then couldn't hit it out, something like that. He said, but hell, if I'd known he'd been mayor, I'd have started him. I love Alvin. Alvin.
Alvin's a good guy. So, you know,
he'd say, heck, Alvin, I didn't know, you know.
You know, we all, you know, and here's you talk about Clinton and Oak Ridge, and you probably know this guy when I mention his name. Do you remember Harold Sullivan?
Oh, sure, the ref.
Okay. The referee.
Sully. We call him Sully.
Sully. Well, Sully coached in the baseball league down here in Oak Ridge.
I played for him.
Okay, and
Red team or whatever.
Kiwanis. What I played on was the Kiwanis.
I was on.
Well, Sully coached that team.
Yeah, his sons are about your age, Mike and Joe.
Yes, yeah. So Mike played with it. So he comes to Clinton and gets two or three of us, and we come down here and play.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're on the Kiwanis, and there's some other Oak Ridge guys on the Kiwanis.
Sure, that's what it was, the Kiwanis.
Dwayne Horton.
I was 3 or 4 years ahead of you, but yeah, I played the same team. Yeah.
Dwayne Horton was on there. So the team that's winning the league at the split plays the All-Star team. That's how it was at the time. So we were winning the league, and there was probably more Clinton.
I remember those
There's probably more Clinton guys on there than there is Oak Ridge guys.
Right.
But all these All-Stars over here, so we get there, and the stands on one side is packed. I mean, it's packed. There's no seats. The stands over here, I think Sully's wife and somebody's girlfriend was up there, and that was it. We didn't have anybody rooting for us.
Yeah.
Not a soul, but I loved playing for Harold Sullivan.
Oh, so he was great.
He was something else, man.
I always went up to him for a ball game. Ref, I said, Sully, I don't care what to say. You're the best ref I've ever had. I get 9 free throws. I mean, if you got near me, I get to the line. I mean, it didn't matter. Him and Bug-Eye Bell, Don Bell. I love Bell, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we had great baseball here. You know, during the war, we had professionals and the major leaguers that had to come here during the war when they didn't qualify, ex-major leaguers and things. And there was just a lot of great ball players. My good friend Matt Bailey was a good player, a shortstop. You know, he played for Tech 4 years and St. Louis, I think, for 1 summer. But it was great. So we're going to take a break and come back and talk a little bit more about. I want to talk about police work in Clinton. You know, maybe much more. That's your expertise. And to be fair, we'll talk about you running for city council. And to be fair, that's a big part of city council's responsibilities is protection. Brad, let's go for break.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. A My Social Security account allows you to access your earnings history and benefits information, request a replacement Social Security card, get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
This is my husband, Alex Hussey. Alex is about 2 weeks away from coming home.
I was playing man in foot patrol, and I stopped on the bomb. Lost my legs and my left hand in an explosion.
And he suffered a severe traumatic brain injury.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
There are so many mountains to climb, and we do it together.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
To watch Alex take on this mountain, that's what this is all about.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Alex has conquered this mountain. That's something he won't forget.
With the right support, there are no limits.
Look at that smile! You did it!
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
This has meant so much.
Thank you, DAV.
Alex Hussey, thank you for your service. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
We should never lose sight of our health. To keep moving forward, let's not forget everything we've learned. Limit the salty food options. Make your own daily exercise routine. And always receive regular checkups. More than anything, we have learned how important these small steps can make a big difference, so we can all continue to move forward together.
Hello, I'm District Attorney General Dave Clark. My fellow DAs and I successfully fought for new elder abuse laws and procedures that have police departments and agencies using improved tools to protect our seniors. Victims of elder abuse are often unable to recognize or report abuse themselves. They need your voice. If you suspect abuse, contact local law enforcement or adult protective services. Let's work together to protect our seniors.
Welcome back to Between the Lines. I want to thank Scott Burton, who's a candidate for mayor in Clinton, for sponsoring tonight's show. I hope he's watching. He could learn some things tonight.
I didn't know he was even running. Is he running?
Yeah, he runs.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
He runs something. He's been running a long time. But Scott's a great guy. We're glad he's taking time to sponsor us. Hey, I mean, he's kind of similar to you in the sense that he's very vested in the community. Been there a long time.
Scott's a Clinton guy too.
Yeah, he is.
He's raised there. Went to school at Clinton High. Yeah, he's got deep ties there.
His daughter can shoot.
His daughter's a good basketball player. I don't know where she got it from. I tell everybody
That's
that
no
that
chance.
she didn't get it from her dad.
No
she got it from her
chance.
mother, and I don't
No
know that's the
chance.
truth, but I'll give her mother the
No
credit.
chance. Yeah, no, I don't even want to get into that, but you're absolutely right. But I want to watch her play, and she's kind of a throwback. I mean, she's not a. She's kind of what a star looked like 15, 20 years ago. Great shooter, moves in Lincoln, a little versatile. So I think she'll do well wherever she goes.
Yeah, I think she can play. If the game's a little rough, it might be right up her alley.
That's right.
She is in that throwback. She plays a little physical. She likes a
right.
little physical.
That's right.
You want to bark at her, she's going to bark back, I think, just
That's
from what
right.
I've watched her play.
That's right.
So she's going to be a good college basketball player.
That's
I
right.
think there'll be big things coming
And
from
she's
her.
going to small college, right?
Yeah,
going-
Wise,
Virginia
I believe
Wise,
that's
I mean.
right. Yeah, she's going to Virginia Wise. Yeah.
I mean, I keep telling Scott, let's get her out and shoot some. I want you to see her shoot some free throws and do this. And I won't go into the whole story, but he's very proud of her.
Oh, he should be.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
proud
he
of
should
her.
be.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the police for a few minutes because you were there 42 years. The police job. Now, I know a little bit about law enforcement, not some more from the budgetary planning side, but it's an interesting challenge. Now, I think the sheriff's job is a absolute disaster nightmare because you got to protect New River. You got so much ground to cover with your budget and stuff. So whoever has that job, I don't envy them. But Quentin, you got a little bit more. You've had good funding. You've had didn't get into it, but Lana Seaver's one of my favorite people. And when she ran the schools, I just picked the phone and asked, "What does this mean?" And she explained it to me. So I really liked her a lot. And the bottom line is, though, on the crime side and the budgeting side, I've always thought Clinton ran a pretty. I guess the word's clean. I never hear of any controversies. I don't hear of anything like I do in some other communities, small and large. I just think Clinton's been well run. Now, that's just an outside observation. And you've worked for a lot of different people.
I've worked for Chief Melton, Rick, Von Becker for just a little while. I've worked for 3 different police chiefs, and they're all 3 of them have got a little bit different trait. I worked more for Rick Scarborough just about than anybody. Well, Chief Melton for quite a while, and then Rick Scarborough. I didn't work.
Who was before Chief Melton?
Ooh, that's a good question. Jack Owens, probably.
Yeah, it's probably before my time.
Because he held.
I knew Melton well.
He held both positions at one time, fire chief and police chief.
Yeah, back in the old
And then
days.
Chief Melton came in either 78 or 79.
Was it that long? Because I knew him in 98, yeah.
Because he sent me to the police academy in 1979.
So he'd been there a while. Okay.
So I got to go
That's
to the
a long
police
time.
academy. I was the first guy he
That
sent.
covers your career.
That covers my career right there. So, law enforcement has changed like from the 70s to the middle 80s, and then it changed. Then going into the 90s, it changed again. Then going into the 2000s, it changed again. And then before we went into 2019, 2018, 17, right through that span, it's changed again.
How much is technology, the type of crime, how much has that changed in the last 10 years?
Well, I'll just say this. I never thought that we would have a laptop computer. I always envied Oak Ridge, okay? When you look at stuff, I always thought Oak Ridge Police Department always had more equipment than we had.
Sure.
Okay?
Makes sense.
I thought we had as good of employees as Oak Ridge had.
Sure.
But as far as equipment and the technology part,
And the
it
salary,
seemed
yeah.
like Oak Ridge was always just a tad bit ahead of us. Not only that, they were a tad bit ahead of us in salary. Okay? So take all that out, everything else, we played fairly even. But I never thought I'd see the day that we would mount a laptop in a patrol car and we could get information to that person in that patrol car on that laptop. And we'd be able to see where that person in that patrol car was and track them and be able to get, quick information to them through the laptop for technology. Body cameras are tied into technology.
Sure.
In-car cameras are tied in. I never thought I'd see in-car cameras.
Has it made your job harder, all the scrutiny?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
If you do it by the book and you do it right,
Not a problem.
not a problem. Even if you do it just a little bit to the right or left, still not a problem. It's when you go way right or you go way left.
Yeah.
You're going to get out of bounds just a little bit.
Yeah.
When you're doing stuff. There's going to be some things happen that
Every environment's different.
every environment's
I got you.
different,
I got
okay?
you. That makes sense.
So a body camera is your friend.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
Because it can save you, because here's why. All you got to do when somebody comes in to complain, and I've seen Chief Scarborough do this a million times. He was rude to you? He cussed you? Oh, no, I'm not for that. Hold on a minute. Let's fix it. Let's pull it up here on the camera.
Yeah.
And you swing that monitor around and you start playing. Well, I'd really like to just get out of the ticket. I don't want to really complain on the officer. Bottom line is they wanted out of the ticket.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. They wanted out of the ticket. So see,
Yeah.
camera really saves you because it's going to get everything. There's no way to get around it.
And it exposes bad.
Oh yes, sir, it does.
Nationwide,
It exposes bad nationwide.
And that's good because you don't want them on your force anyway.
No.
But in Clinton, how many police officers are there just generally in the department, just for the 20 years, whatever? Probably more now.
Well, when I first started, there was 8.
Okay, how many are there when you left?
30-something.
City's the same size. Why is there so many more?
Well, it's not that the city's a little bit bigger than it was.
That's okay.
Okay, so we annexed in
That's true.
1980. I won't say 83. I could be wrong. We annexed sometime in the 80s. We took South Clinton in. See, when you look at the footprint of Clinton, and as you're coming into Clinton, none of that was in the city. Mariners Point was not in the city. None of the highway coming around the river was in the city. The city limits went all the way up to where you get to about back this side of David Worthington's Motors and
where the fence company.
Right there. There used to be a Hendrickson's feed store. Used to be right there.
That.
Okay, so Hendrickson's feed store was right there. That was the city limit.
Yeah.
You go to the Clinton River. You go to the bridge going across into South Clinton today. We didn't go across the bridge. You go up to where the jail's at, even though the jail's in the county today, from there to the interstate was not in the city.
Right.
We stopped. J.D. Yarnell Industrial Parkway, not in the city. Go over to Westwood Estates, not in the city. You had to come all the way back down. So Clinton was about 3,000 people back in my early times, and now it's grown to about 10,000 people. So I
always remember it being 8 or 10 all those years. I must have been wrong.
Well, we went from a small police department to a medium-sized police department, and 30 people is not a lot. When I say 30, that's probably
includes dispatchers.
That's everybody. That includes people on the, you probably got 4 people on a shift.
Yes.
This time there's 4 shifts.
Interesting.
There's detectives. I think there's 3 or 4 of them. Then you have some administrative people that does things. Then you have a training officer that does that stuff. You got training, then you got somebody that supervises dispatch. So there's a lot of people. So back in the day, we didn't dispatch.
No.
The fire department dispatched for us.
That's correct.
They went to bed at 12 o'clock. They flipped a switch. That switch went to Anderson County Sheriff's Department.
Yep.
Anderson County Sheriff's Department answered our calls from 12 midnight to 7 a.m. We flipped it back over as a fireman. You took back over the phones, and you dispatched. So all of that has changed. I mean, when I started there, we had 2 offices, police chief office and 1 office for everybody to do their paperwork out of. Now there's offices, you go down there and you go in the police department side, all the way back down the hallway and all the way down the back, it's the police department side. It's just become big. It's just become bigger.
Interesting. How many people on the school board?
6.
6 plus the superintendent.
6 plus superintendent.
She said so. You get a lot of 3-3 ties?
Very seldom.
Yeah.
Most times it's unanimous.
Yeah.
We're pretty well on the same page. Well, we're on the same page because our objective is the kids.
Sure.
The objective is not a political thing. There's nothing political about our school board.
No.
We're strictly for the kids.
Yes.
It's all about kids. If you're there for some other reason, you shouldn't be there. It's all about the kids.
Absolutely.
I want to provide all the funding. I'll tell you how much it's all about the kids. Kelly Johnson called me up and said, I'm thinking about hiring E.T. Stamey. I said, it'd be the best hire you've ever made in your life.
A couple years ago.
She said, I'm thinking about hiring E.T. I said,
She talked about that on
be the best hire you've ever made.
No
and I'm going to start sports. I said, that'll be the best thing you've ever done, too. But I'm not going to spend a nickel of money that we have for education.
Right.
We'll either get a donation, raise it. E.T. Stamey raised all that money.
I remember. Yeah.
We have got one of the nicest small gyms around here. And E.T. got all that funded and redone, and it's absolutely great.
And I'm going to go on the record again, and it doesn't matter where anybody else sits, but Joe Hollingsworth has done more for this area and this community than anybody. I mean, I'm in communities where there's benefactors over different places, but the facilities over there and the other stuff, he's to be really congratulated for his involvement.
He has done a lot. I agree with you. He's done a lot.
No question.
He's done a lot.
No question. Because you got to have it. You got to have it.
You got to have
it. Whether you're on that side or this side or whatever, doesn't matter. for people that grow up in a town to come back and help.
Well, he, not just necessarily him, but getting back to E.T. E.T. went and done some things that's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And, you know.
I was just thinking of the football facility when you said that, but you're right. This is different.
Well, you talked about the football facility. E.T. helped on that football
he did.
facility and brought all those people along. That project was dead in the water.
You know, and on the same note, I give Michael Farley the same kind of credit.
Now, Farley Dog's done it. He's big. He's a trader right now. He's an AC guy too. Okay, he's got a daughter.
He's a businessman.
He's
Give
a
him
trader,
a break,
man. He's AC.
He'll always be orange. He won't.
He'll always be a dragon like me.
He's a great man.
He'll be a wildcat. But now E.T. got Joe on board over there. Joe come on board and they got that project because I'm telling you that project was done dead in the water. And E.T. came along with Joe and a few other people, and they took that project and completed that project. And it's I don't know if you've been in that facility. That facility is nice.
Yeah, I have been. You know, Anderson County I'd go up there and see them every once in a while, and they would, right, that's a nice locker room. Yeah, give the Herd credit. They got a heck of a locker room. But, I mean, I thought it was nice that Quentin got some facilities and did some stuff. And I'm sure that helped recruit Coach Keith and others. I mean, you got some beautiful facility. Let's go. We're going to take a break, but I want to talk about City Council a little bit. How many on City Council? There's Burton, and he's in the middle.
And there's
6 more?
Let's see, 6 more, I think that's right.
2, 2, and 2? I think so. 6.
That's right.
We're 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Chandler, get us out of here for a couple minutes, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much for watching Between the Lines.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
D-E-P-R.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale.
Bipolar?
Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment.
Anxiety. I thought so.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
What if one day you went to your secret hiding place and instead of what you came for, you found this? What would you do? The truth is, all drug use comes with risk. Before drugs take their toll on you and your family, know that there is help. You can quit. If you or someone you love is struggling with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/knowtherisks.
Hello, I'm District Attorney General Dave Clark. My fellow DAs and I successfully fought for new elder abuse laws and procedures that have police departments and agencies using improved tools to protect our seniors. Victims of elder abuse are often unable to recognize or report abuse themselves. They need your voice. If you suspect abuse, contact local law enforcement or Adult Protective Services. Let's work together to protect our seniors.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
Hey, look at that. You see my eyes? I better get them on, folks. I'm struggling, but that's okay. There I am. We're doing great. I'm learning a lot. David Queener's teaching me about Clinton and really things I did not know. So
I don't know so much
we
about
agreed
that.
on Farley, though. We thought Farley will always be a dragon.
Yeah, he'll be a dragon.
Oh, forever.
He'll
That's
be a
it.
dragon.
So you've done just about every volunteer job you can do. If you had to eat off that stuff, it'd been a real problem.
Yeah, when I got, I'd be on the street, okay?
Yeah, I understand.
I'd be on the street
I
because a lot of
understand.
people think that I get a large salary for being on the school board. I absolutely get nothing. I get nothing from being on the 911 board. I'm just on the 911 board, and I get nothing for being the chairman of the Port Authority for the city of Clinton. I get absolutely nothing from any of those jobs. So the only thing I ever got paid for was being on the police department, and I earned
You worked every hour.
I earned every penny of that.
Yeah, you did.
Plus more that I never did get paid for, but that was
That's
beside the
okay.
point, and that's okay.
Tell
But
me about school board.
I want to go back to the school board just a minute.
Okay.
When I first started, we had a fund balance of about $1.3 million. And like I said, we couldn't really do anything. And we started a relationship. We got a relationship going with city council, working with city council, getting them to help us and partner on some projects that we needed help on, and that has been a great success. When I say that, our partner project, Kelly Johnson told me about 2 weeks ago that we would probably be close to about $1 million that the city council has helped us on projects. We just did an expansion in South Clinton, and the city came in and done some, or I don't know if they've done it yet, they're going to. They're going to pay for the asphalt work that needs to be done. They're going to pave our parking lot over there to the tune of about $100-some thousand and help us out, something we won't have to pay for. But now we've built 2 additions on Allen, and we've not affected the tax rate in Clinton 1 penny.
Yeah.
We've built those additions on. We've paid for those additions. We've borrowed just a little bit of money to help. The first addition at Clinton Elementary, we paid cash. Basically paid cash for it. South Clinton, we had to use because of all this prices and stuff going up.
Yeah.
$1 million project wound up being up in a couple $1 million.
Yeah, it all-
Everything just adds up. So we've built 2 expansion zones to 2 schools. It hadn't cost the taxpayers of Clinton 1 nickel. Not 1 nickel. As taxes went up. But we have not went to Clinton City Council and said, hey, we need you to raise taxes for us so we can pay for these additions.
Let's talk about your seat. It's not a team sport. We'll leave everybody else alone in the mix. We'll just say this. There are 7 people on there, counting Burton, apparently. 2 in each ward plus Burton?
Yeah, plus
so that'd be
Burton.
7.
There's 7.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So we got all the, now you're running for E.T. Stamey's seat.
That's correct.
He is-
I'm running for E.T. E.T., a couple years ago, E.T. approached me and said, hey, I'm about ready to step down from city council. And we said, step down?
Yeah.
Listen, E.T., if you step down, whoever applies for that job could get appointed. Well, he thought he could do it.
Yeah.
He thought he had the say.
Just name it, yeah.
He had to say.
Don't work
So
that
I
way.
said, I tell you what, E.T., finish your term out, and I'll run. Okay, and I left it at that. I didn't have the knowledge to know that myself that I was going to get a little hurt and that he was going to have a major stroke.
Right.
That was not anywhere in my mind. I guarantee you that.
How is he doing?
E.T. is doing, he's doing really good.
Good.
I was at a fundraiser with him a couple Saturdays ago for the Blaze basketball
Good.
girls. He was there the whole time.
Good.
He's making some improvements on his speech. He's not there yet. He's making them really great strides walking. He's really doing some walking now. He's starting to get to walk a little further without assistance. So he's doing a really good job. It's the speech part that still got him buffaloed right now. Once
Yeah, the
he
brain's
figures
good, but the delivery, yeah.
Listen, he could sit here at the table with me and you and understand everything me and you were talking about. He just couldn't relay it back to us what he thought about it.
Yeah, I understand.
We would have that problem with him. But E.T.'s doing great. I
glad
see
to
him
hear
all the time. He's endorsed me to run for city council.
Right.
And people said, well, how'd you get that endorsement? He can't talk. Okay,
Right.
E.T. endorsed me
Long ago.
because this was the plan before. He said, this is it, my last year. You still going to do it? Yeah, I'm going to do it, E.T. I still never thought that this day would even happen for me. I had no intentions of running for city council. It was not on my radar. I was going to finish my school board term out, and I was going to term limit myself and sign R, go away.
When does your school board term end?
My school board term doesn't end from starting in January for 2 more years.
So
I
basically,
won't-
if you win, somebody has to get appointed.
Yeah, if I win, I have to step down as a school
Sure,
board member.
that makes sense.
I'll have to step down from
Ward 2, where is that, city?
Yes.
North Clinton is Ward 1.
No, I'm wondering if I'm not Ward 1 maybe. I don't know.
You're on the ballot in Ward 2.
Okay, then it's Ward 2 then.
I think.
Yeah, I'm on the ballot there. Let's see. Then you got 3 running out of the South Clinton.
Ward
See,
3.
South Clinton is funky. It's South Clinton and comes over and get a little bit of Eagle Bend.
Which makes no sense.
It doesn't make no sense.
No.
Well, here's another thing that people get confused about. You get a petition. If you're running for county commissioner, you run in that district, whatever district you're in. That's where you get.
You're like Oak Ridge.
It's where you go. But in Clinton, you take that petition and you take it all over the city. You get all the signatures you want.
Yeah.
Turn it in.
Everybody votes for you.
Right. Then when
I think
you come
that's
back,
solid. If
and
you see, my problem in Oak Ridge is you don't have to live in any specific district. You top 5 voters could all live in Emory Valley, and that's really not fair. You guys at least ward it out. Even though everybody gets input, it's warded out. I think that's legitimate.
I've had people come up to me from South Clinton and say, man, I wish I could vote for you. I can't vote for you. I live in South Clinton. Oh, no, listen, you can vote for me. Be sure and vote for me because I'm on it's wide open. People just don't understand it. It's really confusing. It really is, but it is confusing.
Are you happy with the way City Council is operating? It sounds like it's not an agenda for you. It's let's do the community service, let's take ET.
It's not. I really don't have an agenda. I've had some people tell me some things they'd like to see change in Clinton. You had a guest on not long ago was talking about, doing things over in South Clinton. I don't have a sidewalk on my street.
Yeah.
The most walked street in Clinton, the most walked street in the summertime is Riverside Drive in River Bend. They don't have a sidewalk. There's some roads over in South Clinton that are so narrow. I don't know if you could put a sidewalk on. The safety aspect of it.
And not to get into names, but I think that there's been so much talk about that area over there in South Clinton. And I mean, the community is a little more involved in trying to change some things, I think. But that's just me looking from the outside. I give it 3 minutes a year.
I just wish we would drop the South and North and Clinton and just say Clinton. We live in Clinton.
You know what happens, though? When you drop it, sometimes the South and the North get forgotten. And you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
That's true.
They were talking about closing South Clinton 15 years ago, and everybody came up in arms on that one.
They did. They did talk about it, closing it, and the city. Somehow the city wound up with it. Nothing bad. We annexed it and we got it, and it's
good.
It's a great school over there.
That's a good community.
It is a good community.
That's a.
But as far if you look at it, there's minor things. Listen, I know what it is to be a fireman.
Yes.
I've done that job. At my first of my career, I worked a little while at the fire department, and I worked a little on the fire. I worked both for a while, and I was called a relief guy. That was my title. I'd work fire 24 hours. I might work 3 midnight shifts on the police department.
Sure.
I just bounced around from what department, and the more I worked the police department, the more the pendulum swung to me be a police officer. So I've been both. I've walked in the fire department's shoes. I know what it takes to be a fireman. I know what it takes, what kind of budget they need. Okay, here's what a lot of people don't understand. You've got an ISO rating in every city. Clinton's ISO rating right now is a 1, saving them buku's money on their homeowners insurance. If the fire department is not kept up to standards, truck-wise, dispatch-wise, and everything, that 1 can very easily go from a 1 to a 5. And you say, well, David, what's that mean for me, the taxpayer? It means about a $200 increase on your homeowner's policy.
Oh, that's right.
That's an automatic.
Now that I understand.
You understand the tax increase.
I understand the ratings because if the insurance company has to have a system by which they understand that you're getting proper fire care. Yeah.
We've got a really good fire department right now, but they've got problems just like everybody else. It's just employees. It's just keeping employees.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if throwing money at it's the right thing to do. I really don't know. I would like to see us I'd like to see Roger Houghton maybe do a little study and us see and bring it back. And if it's throwing money at it, if it means we need to up the salary for whatever, let's up the salary. Okay, we can't pay what they pay at the plants, but we can up the salary. Same problem Oak Ridge Police Department. I heard you talk to the chief about that here not long ago.
Yeah, good guy.
He's a good guy.
But you know what I hear out there, they're having trouble too. I mean, you can't get people to work. I mean, it's everywhere.
That's everywhere. So I can say I know what it is to be a fireman. I've drove the fire truck.
And that goes to your experience on council.
That goes to my experience on council.
And what they're in charge of.
And what they're in charge of.
Charge of schools, police, fire. We pretty much got it covered.
Pretty much. I can go further than that. As a youngster, being 16 and 17 years old, I worked for Public Works during the summertime.
You were a lifeguard?
No, I wasn't a lifeguard. I mowed.
That's harder.
Picked trash up, carried block and brick to build projects, done all that. You either had a 4-hour job or an 8-hour job. And then if you worked 4 hours, you worked in the morning. Then there was another crew come on in after 12 and worked 4 hours.
You know, Clinton folks aren't afraid to work.
No, we work. Listen, I've worked all my whole life has been with the city of Clinton. I've worked my whole life at the city of Clinton, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of everything I've done there. I don't hide my head in the closet. I sleep very well at night.
Sure.
For everything I've done the right thing for the people of Clinton. I'll fight to try to keep taxes lower, but listen, if we need to raise taxes for police or fire for the schools, I won't be afraid to look at it. I'm not saying that's an automatic that I would do it, but if we have to raise taxes if something was to happen and we needed the money and didn't have the money, I'd be for raising taxes for those three. Automatically. Just automatically, I'd be for raising that, because you never know. Catastrophe could happen, something bad happen. You don't know that, but right now, there's no reason to raise taxes. They've got plenty of money.
Well,
so we ought to be able to fund that.
We've talked about it. Internet taxes have just changed the world.
It's changed the world, you know.
You're getting a lot. My county's getting $400,000 or $500,000 a month. You're probably getting 100.
As I said earlier about the school fund balance is 1.3.
Yeah.
As I'm sitting here today, I'm going to tell you it's $5.3 million, and we're doing what we want to do and spending the money wisely.
Yeah.
So we're taking care of the taxpayer dollars. You can just tell that how we've positioned ourselves to build 2 major additions on 2 different schools. No tax increase, that's how it is. The police department probably takes just a little bit more funding. I think the police department budget's like 3 something, and the fire department's 2 something. It's right up there close to the 3. They're really close. Mainly part out of both those budgets are going to be employees and benefits. You know, coming to work to the city of Clinton, and I didn't realize this till I retired. For all those years working at the city of Clinton, they paid all my insurance.
100%.
100%.
Okay.
Not all just for me, for my family.
Good benefit.
Great benefit.
Yeah.
Today it is. Seeing how I'm don't have that insurance and have to pay for it, it's a great benefit to have. And you know, when you're young, you don't need insurance. Till you get my age that you need insurance. You really need insurance. And it's, you know, medical, it just is. So I don't really have an agenda. I'm not running to see somebody get fired or get demoted or get promoted. I think you got to earn those things, and you don't earn them just because you know David Queener, and I might be a cheerleader in your corner for it, but I'm not going to be putting no pressure on somebody to do anything like that, nor would I. And city council don't get involved in that stuff anyway.
No, they should.
That's the city manager's call. Here's what I'm here for. I'm here for Roger Houck. I will support what he wants to do. Okay. If I think it's right. And most of the time, I agree with him 90% of the time.
He's a nice guy.
He's a good guy. Roger's
a good manager.
He's a good manager.
He's, you know what? He's rank and file guy. He's not.
He started out.
He didn't go to Tufts University.
No, he didn't. But if Roger says we need to give the police department, fire department, and public works, or whoever, recreation department, we need to up their salaries, I'll be the first one to vote yes for it.
You know, people ask me all the time, having done some experience over there for a decade, who is the best employee you've ever been associated with in all the time? And I said, well, that could be, it depends on your perspective, right? But I would put Gail Cook at the top of my list.
Top notch. Top notch.
I could tell stories about that too, but she is absolutely the, and when she went over to Clinton, it just, everybody works there, so she's just outstanding.
Top notch.
Yeah.
Top notch. Knows the job. I've never seen anybody that knows the job like her.
And she'll just look right at you and say, ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, you can go in there.
I've been on good ends with her and bad ends with her when I made a mistake or two, you know.
I'd go in, I need to get something. And me and her had a good working relationship. I'd go in and she said, take this card. This is the early days of P-card. Take this card and go get what you need. I want it back here by 4:30. Do not take that home. I mean, she was always the best on everything. She was just great.
Well, she's, you know, she's up to date on her, you know, she's retired now.
I know. I saw her at Apple Blossom. She was.
She's working part time. She's still doing some stuff for the city. They brought Chris Phillips on.
I saw him at Apple Blossom too.
Yeah,
is he the full-time guy?
He's full-time guy with the city of Clinton. He took her place.
Yeah, I talked to him.
She got him.
He was a great. He took her place in the county. He was a great.
So
Chris
he stepped into a honey-hole job with, you know, she's got everything running just as smooth as can be.
Same as he did before.
Same as he did before.
But Chris is good person, good family.
Listen, the city of Clinton's in pretty good shape. There's some things that people are wanting. Our pool's been closed for a couple, 3 years now with a major water leak. They waited around on
that should be fixed.
They waited around on some grant money. And we've got the grant money. It just takes forever to get it. It probably wind up being closed another year just to get the project done. But here's what people have told me. We don't care if there's 2 people a day go to that pool. We want that pool open, running. It's part of the history of Clinton.
That's
I can't
correct.
remember when
A lot of people will
it's
go.
because when the park went in, the pool was there, and I don't remember the year exactly that it was dedicated. There's a sign there at the park entrance that I will tell you. But they want the pool open. They want the pool open.
Oh.
They want you hear a lot about our recreation facilities. I've had some people ask me about
Well, that's the kind of thing that reserve should be. If it costs $800,000 to get the thing redone, it ought to be spent out of the surplus.
Yes.
That's the kind of stuff.
Right, you don't go borrow money to build a baseball field. You should have the capital to do that. You go borrow money to build a building.
That's right.
And you spread that debt out.
That's correct.
On everybody.
That's correct.
That's going to use that. You don't spread that debt out on just one person.
Even the pool has got greater accessibility than the ball field. Not everybody can play ball, but everybody can go to the pool.
That's right.
And to be fair, you know, the pool is very important to low and fixed income people because it's an accessible place where they can go. And that's a peeve of mine. I mean, you know, there's always going to be private pools, and there's going to be this and that, but the city pool is so important to every city because it's a place where they can go and mingle and do stuff without a lot of cost.
Yeah, that's would be my number one thing. And if Roger Hack was sitting here today, Roger, we got to get the pool open. If I was elected, I'd say you're getting me killed right now by not having a pool open. Let's get the pool open. Whatever we got to do, let's get the pool open.
I agree with you.
The pool's got to be open. You know, if you look, we've got a couple different parks. I might like to see some things that South Clinton Park's got over. You know, they've got an exclusive playground for handicapped kids. I'd like to see that in the JC Park. That's just, you know, something that I'd like to see done.
Fantastic.
They're really expensive, but I'd like to see that in Clinton. I wouldn't even mind seeing a splash pad over in South Clinton at their park. If we built a splash pad over there, we've got one down at Lakefront Park. Then you would have the pool. You would have the pool and stuff at the JC Park, so you would have something for everybody in town to do. We need to, there's some things down on Market Street that's going to change in the next couple years. There's going to be some construction work going on Main Street, and they're going to do some things down there, and they're going to revamp Market Street just a little bit.
Good.
I've not seen the final plans, but there's going to be some things down there because the antique people down there, they do carry a lot of business, and they're important to the city of Clinton. The burning item right now for the city of Clinton, and that you hear
Here it comes. Here it comes.
The 9 out of 10 that you hear is the Daugherty Building.
Yeah, and I have, you know, and obviously it's a centralized issue. I had the guy that's developing it on the show, and he made sense. And his whole point was, it's affordable living, not low-income living. You can make up to $55,000. And my other argument, I guess I would be pro-development on that. My only other argument on the Daugherty Building is it's sat empty for 40 years, 30 years. We got to do something.
Eventually, you're right. I agree with you.
Okay.
But there's some problems, though, okay? We might be able to build it and all that, but I think there's some things that needs to be thought through here.
See, I'm not familiar with any of that.
Where are they going to park?
Yeah, we're behind, I guess, is where they're platting it, but I don't know.
Where are they going to park? Because the city can't say, we're going to give you 40 parking spots, because the way the parking lot was built with federal funds, it can't be done. So you have no parking.
I don't have a problem. I'm saying conceptually, it's a decent use for the property. That's what I'm saying.
Could be.
Now, if you do it right, you're right. You have to do it right, and you have to do everything right. But we need to do something. I mean,
I think you got to pump the brakes here. Not only the developers got to pump the brakes, the city, everybody that's involved in it. And I think we got to bring everybody to the table and see because there's concerns from the business people on Market Street.
Very much so.
There ought to be concerns from the city, from the police department wise. How are we going to, because that's going to be a burden on them. When there is like an antique festival this Saturday, every car in that parking lot, if you're parked there for the night, you've got to be gone the next day.
Right.
You can't park there but for 24 hours.
Well, I think what they're talking about is segregating off a portion of that. I don't know what.
Can't be done.
Okay, I wouldn't argue with you.
Can't be done. Done with federal funds and can't be done, turned over. It can't be done.
Well, I don't know much about it. I just think that the idea of having ability for people to live in that kind of a classy building would be kind of cool.
But I understand also City of Clinton really don't have too much say-so in it. It's not
That's correct.
It's not a city problem. It's if its developer can pull it off and get it done. But what I'd like
have input into it.
Yeah, there's going to be some. I'd like to see us try to fix these problems.
Okay, why not? There'll
Why
be problems
not?
later, right?
Let's fix them now before the guy's got all this money invested in him in it,
And backs up on it.
and we wind up, something bad happens, and it can't, something happens. He loses all of his money, and it's because of us. We ought to sit down and try to work this out if we can. Man, there's so many problems. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if we can work it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it can. We shouldn't say I don't know. I don't know if we can work it out though. I don't know if it can get worked out. I don't know if I'm on that council. I don't know. I don't know if it can be worked out.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest. I don't know if it can be worked out.
I don't
There's
know
so
the
many
problem, so I don't
problems.
know. Yeah.
Well, there's the people on Market Street are worried about if there's an influx of kids down there or what, you know.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
There's just really
But
no
that's-
place for
But
them
is
to
that their right to be able to argue that?
well,
I mean, I'm not.
as a business
I
owner,
have no interest in any of it. I'm just presenting information.
as a business owner, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
You know, because
Certainly input.
you got some input on
Y'all
it. You
know
ought to
you-
have some input
every
on
business person should.
And it would probably be a concern of mine if you've got, you know, would be no different maybe though in saying some adult walks down the street and bumps into some of the stuff you got and you damage it. If a kid run into it on a bicycle.
But I mean, Knoxville, Geisha, all that stuff is built around those kind of living.
They're all built around. But I think when you look at it, they sit down, they've got some rules and regulations, and there's some things that have taken place.
Okay.
I'm just saying we ought to.
That is the volatile issue of the campaign.
That is the volatile issue.
But I don't think there's 2% of the people that understand it. I mean, they just know home, business. I mean, they can't. And I don't understand why I haven't been able to be leased and something happened. I guess there's not enough traffic.
There's been talk about, you know, I remember being on the police department when there was people that lived in it. So I'm that old to remember people that
The point
lived
is, it's
in
no one person's problem. And they try to make it one person's problem or this problem or that person. It's
Correct.
basically just different thoughts in the community.
That's the big thing. The Daugherty Building's the big thing. Yeah. And if you didn't have that cloud right now, if it is a cloud, you wouldn't have a cloud, period. It would be.
Yes, you know, I'm an upholsterer, and I'm involved in political business all around Tennessee and elsewhere. And the Clinton feedback I get in data is very positive for their city. I think Clinton people as a whole feel good about Clinton.
You could probably go poll 100 people, and I wouldn't be shocked if you come back and told me 50 was for the Daugherty Building.
And 50 was against.
And 50 was against, and that's how.
It's really not on their radar. If you get outside of downtown,
yeah,
I'm not hearing a lot.
You don't hear a lot because a lot of people don't know what's going on. They don't
well,
have
it doesn't affect them. They're not down there.
They're not affected. They're not down there.
Yeah.
One last thing, if I do get elected city council, you can bet sure I won't have to be told how to vote. Mm-hmm. I'll know how to vote.
Well, you make your own mind up.
I make my own mind.
Sure.
Listen, I know there is nobody knows Clinton City government as well as I do.
I would be willing, and I don't usually make judgments, but I would say that's probably true with all your experience.
The only other person that might know Clinton City government, he's no longer here, he's deceased, and that'd be Bone Seavers.
Hey, now, Bone knew more than all of us put together.
All of us put together. But I know Clinton City because I've worked there and grown up there all the way
I think people appreciate your dedication. 15 seconds?
Thanks for having me on your show.
Hey, I appreciate it. I ain't seen you in a while.
Thanks for having me on your show.
It's good to see Paulette. And listen, David Queener, City Council. I believe it's Ward 2, but it's in council.
Just vote for him, period.
There you go. Thank you, Scott Burton.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Because no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing.
The life of every child is precious. If you care for a child or teenager with a disability and have limited income and resources, they may qualify for monthly cash payments through the Supplemental Security Income Program, or SSI. Call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213 or visit ssa.gov/SSI-Kids to learn more. That's ssa.gov/SSI-Kids. Message produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
This is my husband, Alex Hussey. Alex is about 2 weeks away from coming home.
I was playing man on foot patrol, and I stepped on the bomb. Lost my legs, my left hand in an explosion.
And he suffered a severe traumatic brain injury.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
There are so many mountains to climb, and we do it together.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
To watch Alex take on this mountain, that's what this is all about.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans.